Huberman was a well-known Chassidic artist, passed away in 1976. He was a Chassid of the Lubavitcher Rebbe and unfortunately suffered a great tragedy in World War II, losing his family, his wife and his children, in the Holocaust. And it was in the 1950s that he came to New York totally broken in spirit and in body, and found the Lubavitcher Rebbe, who encouraged him to paint again. And listening to his Rebbe, he put all of his heart and soul into his paintings, painting old scenes from the shtetl and old memories that gave him comfort and solace. Rabbi Handel didn't just paint to comfort himself. He also painted to help bring Jews come closer to Hashem. And it happened that the rabbi was such a good artist that his work currently appears in the New York Metropolitan Museum of Art and in the Tate Gallery and in museums in Paris. And when he was alive, he would often go to artist exhibitions to sell his work, to show off his work. And it happened one time that he was invited to this exhibition, which for him was in the middle of nowhere. There was no kosher food, there was no minyan for him to daven with. And so he went to ask the Rebbe if he should go. The Rebbe said for sure he should go. However, he shouldn't stay in the hotel where the exhibition is being held. Rather, he should stay in such and such a hotel. And that's where Rabbi Handel went. So, being that there was no minyan, he would daven in his room. He would eat his meals in his room. He brought along enough canned food to keep him going for the days of the exhibition. And during the exhibition, he would stand there next to his pictures, explaining his work. Of course, his work was extremely beautiful, but nobody had seen a rabbi like this at an artist exhibition in maybe ever. With the hat and the beard and the coat, and he looked like he was the real thing. Everybody kept coming over to him, asking him questions about his work and questions about himself. It happened one day that the rabbi was in his room learning some Torah, and there was a knock on the door. The rabbi answers the door, and he sees this guy, one of the artists, obviously a non-Jewish artist, from the exhibition, and he says to him, "Rabbi, do you have a talis and tefillin that I can borrow?" The rabbi is totally in shock. The guy doesn't look Jewish at all. But he says, of course. He gives him a talis, tefillin, a kippah, gives him a siddur. Who knows? Maybe the guy is going to paint the stuff. Who knows what he's going to do with it? So, a couple hours later, the guy brings the talis, tefillin, the kippah, and the prayer book back to the rabbi. And the next afternoon, the same thing happens. There's a knock on the door. He asks for the stuff. The rabbi gives him the talis and tefillin. And the guy goes off and comes back. So one day, the rabbi is walking down the hallway, and he passes by this guy's room. And he hears him davening. He hears him davening in Hebrew. He hears him shouting in Yiddish. And he hears him crying from the deepest place of his heart. He realized this guy was connecting with his Jewish neshama. And the next time that he brought the talis and tefillin back, the rabbi said to him, "So tell me, my sweetest friend, what's your story? I didn't even know you were Jewish." He said, Rabbi, it's so sad. I grew up in a Jewish home. I studied in yeshiva. And then I left it all. You know, I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to be free. I wanted to connect with the world and not be limited by being a Jew. And for so many years, I totally denied being Jewish. And nobody even knew I was a Jew. But when I came by your room and I heard your davening, Rabbi, something aroused in my heart, and I had to put on a talis and tefillin. I had to pray again. I had to connect with my parents and their parents and all the generations back to Avram Avinu. So the two of them became friends, and when the exhibition was over, they parted their separate ways. The rabbi went back to Crown Heights, and the artist went back to his hometown. And of course the rabbi wrote a report to the Rebbe telling him that he did as he asked, and what an incredible miracle it was that the Rebbe knew that he should go to this specific hotel so that he should meet this Jew and help him come back to Judaism. But even more amazing than that was several months later, the rabbi was reading in the newspaper that this Jew who came by his room every day to put on talis and tefillin had passed away. A famous artist had passed away, and the rabbi realized that the Rebbe not only had the foresight to send him to the exhibition and send him to the right hotel, but to send him to this Jew before he passed away so that he would have mitzvahs to take with him to the next world.